Okay, can everybody see this picture? We have a foreground right here at the front, and then we have the middle ground with all these little mountains, and then the background is going to be our last and final mountain in the background. So foreground, middle ground here, and then background. Notice how the colors are very different. Okay, we're going to do that a little bit later, but first we're going to prepare this activity here. Can everybody see this activity? I used black paper to do this one, and this is what we call a positive and negative space activity, okay? So you basically need to understand, wait, hang on. Wait, oh, this is not working properly. Yeah, that's better. All right, that's better. So everybody needs to create a black piece of paper. It's really hard to get a black piece of paper.
Vicki, to the paper is 3 or 4?
A4. Yeah, you got it, A4. So remove spotlight. I want everyone to get a fresh piece of paper like this, just a regular piece of paper. This is not acrylic paint paper. That's okay. Just, you know, the kind of paper we have for photocopying. All right. And then I want you to get black paint, and I want you to just paint everything black. Okay. Make sure you don't put too much black because I want it to dry by the end of this lesson. We're going to do a nice little activity by the end of this lesson. All right, so first we're going to prepare our black paper because sometimes it's really hard to find black paper. So we're just going to make our own black paper, and we're going to create something like this, okay? Or this one. Can everybody see these pictures in the chat? I think Dorothy put these pictures in the chat. Can everybody see them? So basically, we're just going to get a piece of paper and paint some black paint on it. Now, notice I'm keeping it very, very thin. I do not want this to be really, really thick because I want it to dry very quickly. Okay, this shouldn't take you too much time, kids. Wanted to do it as quickly as possible. And notice which paintbrush I'm using, right? There are small paintbrushes and there's medium-sized paintbrushes, and everybody should have one of each. Yeah, we have the large, small, this one's the small one, and this one is the medium-sized one. I'm not using the medium or small because I want to do it quickly, okay? This is not the important part of the activity. So we want to do it very, very quickly. Bang, bang, bang. Okay. Please use your large brush. Can't believe it's already dry. That's because I'm not putting too much paint on it. That's why. All right, that's it. That's all I want. I know you're probably wondering, what are we going to do with this piece of paper? But I will show you later, okay? We're going to do this now so that we can wait for it to dry and do it a little bit later. We're going to start on our landscape now, okay? That's it. I'm going to put it somewhere where it can dry. Make sure the wind doesn't take it away. And, okay, so that's what we're doing. We just need a black piece of paper, A4 size. All right. And just put my black in the water. And now what I need to do is prepare the paints for this painting. Okay, we're going to do this painting now. All right. We need an A3 size paper. Okay, we need an A3 size paper for this activity. Let me go get mine. There's an A3. Laurie, can you hear me? I don't know when you sent that. 1:38. Was that when the video was showing? All right, for those who came a little bit late, I'm going to just share again what we're going to do so that you can have a fair idea. You can have a good look at the activity we're doing. And also this one. We're going to do a positive, negative space. I'm putting them in the chat. Positive, negative space, and we're going to do a landscape this time. Last time we did space, we did houses and trees, didn't we? We did, for space, we did those activities. But now we're going to do a landscape showing the foreground, middle ground, and background. We just have to work a little bit faster. Now, for those of you who have finished with your black piece of paper, put it aside, make sure that it's somewhere that it can dry. Now, I need my A4. Now, with this, see this is coming from a book, a visual diary, and I personally don't like it when, oh, where are my scissors? Oh, where did my scissors go? Oh, there they are. Okay.
Teacher Vicki.
Yes.
Now we need A4 or A3.
A3 size paper. Now I'm going to just cut off these little bits here because I don't like this on my piece of paper, right? You don't have to do this, but I like to take it off, right? I like to take off this part. If it's from a visual diary, of course, right? If yours is not from a visual diary and it's just a white piece of paper plain, then you don't have to do that. All right, now my video is not going to go any higher, unfortunately, right? But you can see that it's a landscape.
Teacher Vicki.
Yeah.
Teacher Vicki.
Yes.
Do you do paper A4, A3?
A3, darling.
A3, darling.
Remember what we said about A3? A3 is the big one. Look at my hand. Yes, that's the one. Good girl. All right, ready? We need good paper, okay? This is good paper as well. It's nice and thick. It's for acrylic paint. Now, the paints that I will need you to get are the following, right? I've got my palette here, and I need to get green and yellow. So green and yellow. There's my yellow. All right. Should be enough. I need to get my green out as well. Now, my paintbrush is very dirty. It's full of yellow. So obviously, I'm going to put that aside for now and grab another paintbrush because I do not want to get my paints dirty as I'm putting them in my palette. There's my green. I might put a little bit more green in there because I'm going to use green for the mountains as well, the middle ground mountain. Now, what does foreground mean? Who knows what foreground means? Who knows what background means? Everybody should know what these words mean. And I need a little bit of blue as well. Don't forget to have a cloth next to you. We always need a cloth to wipe our hands if we need to. I just need a little bit of blue as well. Yep. You need to put a little bit of...
Teacher, I don't have yellow.
Oh, this is the problem. This is the problem. I don't know what to say now. What else can you use instead of yellow?
Maybe
Orange? What, Kitty?
Could we use orange instead?
I think we can. Yes,
Okay,
Kitty, I
I'm
think
just...
we can. I
Yeah,
think
I will
orange,
use orange.
orange is the closest color. We actually do need to use a little bit of orange as well. Okay, come on, guys, get your paints ready. A little bit orange, and I'm also going to use a little bit of brown as well. There's my brown. The white.
Teacher, what green are you using?
Just, yeah, whatever came out of the tube, darling. Whatever came out, it's a darker green. But we're going to make a variation of this green. Notice how many different greens there are in the picture?
Yes.
Have a look at the picture. There isn't just one green, right? Because we do a shade of green, we do a tone of green and a tint of green. So it's all very different. We need a little bit of white as well. All righty. Oops. Okay, is everybody about ready?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, the very first thing we need to do is we need to take our ruler, because I'm going to get you to measure how high I want you to do the foreground, the grass at the bottom, right? So where's my ruler? There it is. So from the bottom of this page down here, everybody see my wiggly fingers? Yes? You can see my wiggly fingers? I'm just going to measure about 7 centimeters. Doesn't have to be perfect, about 7 centimeters. I'm just going to do a small dot. Doesn't have to be a big dot, just an indication. I'm not even using like a pencil. I can't find a pencil right now. So there's 7. There's going to be 1 dot there. 1 dot around here. That's another 7. And over here. So 7, 7, 7 all across there. And if I wanted to, I could probably just go across like that as well. Now I'm going to create a green with a little bit of yellow in it. Okay, green. Can everybody see my palette? I'm going to take a lot of yellow. All right, a lot of yellow. And a little bit of green, because green is a dark color. Right, I'm going to mix those two together so I can make a light green. Remember what we said about space? When things are bright and they're like very bright and very vivid. Vivid means very intense, right? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a line across here, just like the way I drew that line, 7 centimeters in height, and see all this beautiful green. It's so bright. Yeah. And that's why I'm going to put it light at the front, because that's what A foreground must have light colors, bright colors. That's a gorgeous green that I've created there. Do you like my green? Right. So it's a little bit of yellow and a little bit of green. All right. So there's my foreground, 7 centimeters from the bottom, okay? Nice and yellowy green. Ready? Can we move on to the next one? Can everybody hold up their work so I can have a look at what you're doing?
Teacher, I'm not finished.
Okay. I'm just going to clean out my paintbrushes while I wait for you guys, okay? All these paintbrushes that I use to put my paints into my palette, I'm just going to go and wash them, all right? And I'll be right back. Just keep painting that green, the green yellow. Make sure it's nice and bright because it's in the foreground. I'm back. How's it all going? Let me see. Pull it up, Kitty. Good girl. That's perfect. It looks exactly like mine. I love it, love it, love it. Good girl. Yes, Laurie. Excellent. It's a little bit dark, Misso. How come yours is a little bit dark? Is that just your green? Yep. Beautiful apple. Fantastic, you guys. Really good job. Now, for those who have finished, I want you to take the same paintbrush and I want you to dip into your green, a dark green. Yeah, not a dark green, but the same green that we use to make that color. So just mix it up. Now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take your large paintbrush and I want you to put it on the side and I want you to dab it across like this, right? Just a little bit of dabbing and moving your paintbrush upwards. See what I'm doing? I'm just making it go upwards just a little bit, just to show that there's like grass growing there, right? Just like grass, but it's going to be just a little bit darker. See what I'm doing? Just creating a little bit of texture. Let me just bring it a little bit closer so that you guys can see what I'm doing. All right? Can everybody see that clearly? See, I'm just dabbing it and just dragging it up a little bit, just so that it looks like there's grass growing there, right? And I'm using my paintbrush sideways. So that's all you have to do. This is just a technique we use to create some kind of texture so that it looks a little bit like grass is growing there. We don't want to go over everything, right? And it doesn't matter. I don't want it to really stick. I want it to be like very little paint on your paintbrush. Very little paint. You don't want it to be too obvious. Okay. Very small strokes. Very, very small strokes. Okay. Now, I want you to take that same paintbrush and I want you to turn it sideways.
Đất này nặng nọc quá đâu, coi cô làm cái này nhắn, làm việc quẹt quẹt như này.
I want you to take your paintbrush and I want you to watch me carefully as I do this. You can do it with this paintbrush because this has got a nice thin line to it if you hold it sideways. No, see that? So I want you to create something like grass pieces coming out from the bottom. See, that's a nice little technique there. It's just going to show that there's grass coming up. So make sure that you goes here and there and everywhere. You see, I'm not going only in one direction. I'm going in many directions. I'm going up this way and that way, this way and that way, right? See what I'm doing? I'm going this way and that way. And this is the dark green, the same green that I did those little bits in there. Okay. Now, as soon as you finish that, I want you to dip into the white, right? Dip into the white. And I want you to mix a little bit of that same green with that white. And I want you to go over these ones at the front as well. I want them to be highlighted. See what I'm doing? I'm going this way and that, this way and that. So these are just some details to show that this is the foreground and whatever's in the foreground is much lighter. So just go over those areas that we just did. Yeah, just go over them just to show that they are highlighted and that we can actually, it gives you the impression, the illusion that these are in front. Yeah, these are in front. Beautiful. I might even put a little bit of yellow in there as well. See my yellow now. I'm going to mix it in with that, right? And I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow. So I've got green, dark green, white, and a little bit of yellow, right? Just to make it interesting, just to give it that a little bit more, I don't know, of interest that something's going on here, yeah, in the front. All right, I'm finished with this one. Is everybody finished? Now remember how I'm using my paintbrush. I'm putting it sideways, not flat ways. So this is the flat way and this is the side way. And I want you to use the side one to do those wisps, right? Do those wisps. A little bit of green. There's a little bit of white and green. And then there's yellow. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, we all don't have to make the same colors. It's all perfectly okay. Whatever color you make, just so there's a little bit of interest here at the front because this is the foreground. We have to put some detail in the foreground because it's important, isn't it? It's one of the ways in which we show space. When we put detail onto an object that is in the front, it just shows us that that's in the front, and something that is not detailed, which is what we're going to do with our mountains, it's going to be in the back. All right, we are ready to move over. I'm going to actually clean my paintbrush out because I'm going to use yellow now to go in there, and I don't want any green on there whatsoever. Now, some people said they didn't have yellow. I want you to, all right, I'm going to tell you how much. 3 centimeters from there, right? There's 3 centimeters. I'm taking my ruler, right? I'm taking my ruler. Hang on a minute. You guys can't see what I'm doing because this is in the way. So there's my ruler and I'm counting 3 centimeters only from where we started the green. And I'm going to just make a dot here, right? Just so that you know 3 centimeters is that. We don't want too much of this yellow or orange yellow area, right? That's how much I want it to go, not too high. So I'm going to just put yellow everywhere, right? This is like the field, the wheat fields. Just yellow everywhere. Make sure there's no green in there, please. Yellow everywhere. Okay. All the way across. All the way across. It's really hard for me to show you what I'm doing on a landscape because it's so wide. The paper's so wide. All right. Now, pay attention to what we're going to do now. All right. Don't want that to be more than 3 centimeters. Very small area. What we're going to do is we're going to mix a little bit of the yellow with the orange. Now, I know some of you don't even have yellow. I understand. And we're going to do exactly the same thing as what we did here, right? Remember we did dab and then we went upwards. See that? Dab and upwards. We want to make it just a little bit of texture because don't forget this is very close to the foreground. In fact, this is not exactly the foreground because this is the foreground, but this is like the middle ground, let's just say. And there's still a little bit of detail. Remember what we said, dabbing and swooping upwards as if it was grass. Yeah, we need to make lots of little lines like that just to give it that little bit of texture. All right. Now, as soon as you guys have done that, all right, can everybody see what I've done there? See that? All right. I'm going to get you to do orange and brown. Orange and brown color. All right, I might need a little bit more orange in there. All right, we're going to do exactly the same. Orange and brown, little lines going up. So we're going to do swoosh, 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 upwards. So dab and swoosh up, dab and swoosh up. Look how I'm holding my paintbrush. I'm holding it sideways. Okay, so there you have it. There. Don't use too much paint, kids. It's a big mistake. A lot of people, they think they have to put too much paint on their paintbrush and then everything gets really bogged. We don't want that. And don't cover all the yellow. I still want there to be a little bit of yellow showing through and a little bit of orange showing through. All right, so this is just a little bit of brown. Just to show that this is like a wheat field. Okay, remember what we said, dabbing and swooping upwards. Now, I want you to, with the same paintbrush, you don't have to wash it because there's still brown on there. You can maybe wipe it if you wanted to wipe it. Don't have to wash it though. You have to dip into your brown. This is my brown here, right? Everybody can see my brown, right? Dip into the brown, and this is a really cool thing what we're going to do here. Let me just turn my palette around so you can see the color I'm dipping into. This is just pure brown, right? Pure color, the hue of brown. And we're going to create a fence. Can everybody see my fence along there? Can everybody see this fence? Yes? All right, I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. All right, is everybody about ready to move on? Yes, no, maybe? Nobody's answering. Right? Can we move along? Apple, are you ready to move along? No, nobody's answering. All right. I'm going to show you how to do the fence. So what I want you to do is I want you to, every couple of fingers, I want you to do a line going upwards like this. Can everybody see? You're going to follow the green line. See, I want them to be the same distance apart. See, I'm not using too much paint. See how I'm drawing a line? Look how I'm holding my paintbrush. It's the large paintbrush, yeah? And I'm just dabbing it. How many times have we used dabbing technique today? Quite a lot, haven't we? We've done a lot of dabbing. So I'm just, see what I'm doing? This is the fence. I'm making a fence now. Yeah, am I really making a fence or am I just dabbing? I'm just dabbing, really. Make sure that they're the same distance apart, okay? Don't make them too far apart or too close together, but make them consistently the same distance, okay? Now, as soon as you've done that, I want you to take the same large paintbrush, and I want you to draw a line over the top like this. I'm leaving just the tops of them though. You see what I'm doing? I'm actually drawing a straight line with dabbing my, okay, I'm leaving a little bit at the top just to show. See what I'm doing? You can do this twice actually. You can do 2 lines or you can do 1 line. I think we can probably get away with doing 2 today. Time-wise, we're doing very well. Can everybody see what I'm doing? So I'm just dabbing, dabbing, dabbing all the way across to make that look like a fence. Now, if I want to get really ambitious, I might just do a second line, right? This is for the animals so that they don't escape. Sometimes we have, or, you know, kangaroos that don't destroy our crops. I don't know. Sometimes people have animals like sheep and cows. I must say, I quite like the 2 lines more than I like the 1 line. It looks more like a fence, doesn't it? There you go. Ooh, really like that. See what I've done? I've used my paintbrush, my large one, and I've turned it to the side and I've just dabbed. That's all I've done. I've not drawn anything. You know, when you draw something, you drag your paintbrush. I did not drag my paintbrush at all. I just dabbed it all the way across. Dabbing to make the poles and dabbing to make the lines across, the logs, I guess. All right, so as soon as you're finished with that, we're going to move on to our mountains now. My water is really yucky again. I might go and change my water again. You really have to change your water quite often, I must say. Something that is absolutely essential. Clean water when you're painting. Sometimes I have like 3 or 4 jars in front of me when I paint so that I don't have to get up and change my water. I'm going to go. I'll be right back. Okay. Where are we now? Let me see, Tina. Let me see your work, please. Everybody hold up your work. Let me see what you've done. Yeah. Very nice. Ooh, miso. Amazing, Laurie. Absolutely fantastic, you guys. Kitty, awesome. Elsa, awesome. Mary, awesome. You guys are awesome. Miso, did you show me yours? Apple, that's fantastic. Really good. Great job. All right, let's go to the next one then. Now, everybody notice how these ones, these little mountains in the front here, notice these little mountains in the front. Wait, let me just, I don't want to get this dirty. Hang on, hang on. Let me just put this up a bit. There you go. Right. We are going to make these mountains here now. Notice how these ones that are in the little bit front, they're a little bit lighter than the ones in the background, aren't they? Yeah, and they just get darker and darker or faded. All right, so I need, what do I need? I need some paintbrushes, and I'm going to use my middle-sized paintbrushes now, not my large ones. All right, now I'm going to make a yellow and green and white. Okay, I need some more yellow. Yellow, green, and white. Let me just put some yellow in there. Okay, I've got my yellow, my little bit of green, and I'm going to use a lot of white because it's in the background, right? So we don't want this to be terribly, right? And I'm going to add just a tad of black, not a lot. I'm going to say that again, not a lot of black, because it is in the background, and whatever's in the background is not as bright, right? See how little I have? Very little black. All right. Now I feel as though I put just a little bit too much. I'm going to put a little bit more green in there. Okay. Too much. All right. That's a nice dull, because it has to be dull. Now, everybody pay attention. This is really important, this part. Now, can everybody see in the picture, right? I've got a mountain coming up from here, and it's ending right here in the middle. See that? This is what I want you to do. So you start from the edge here, and you just come all the way to the middle of the picture. So it's around the middle. It's not quite the middle. It's a little bit to the left. All right. And then I'm just going to color that in. All right. Just color it in. So it's a little bit dull. You don't want it to be too bright, not as bright as the foreground, okay? That's why we added that little bit of tone. Tone means gray, right? So there's my first mountain. Right, and I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. Right, I'm going to do exactly the same on this side, which is going to be, okay, now watch me as I do this, kids. This is really important. Everybody, eyes on me. I'm going to bring the edge of my little mountain in there, and then I'm going to bring it up. You see that? So there's a little bit of space. There's a white space in there. So here, oops, look at this. There you go. And I'm just going to color it in. All right, so just color it in like you're coloring in a coloring book. Yeah, you don't need to spend too much time. Just slap it in there. All right, now this one is going to start here on the yellow bit, right? This mountain here is going to start on the yellow bit, and it's going to go all the way up, but this one is going to start inwards. See that? It goes in. So we're going to have like a zigzag, what do you call it? This part here in the middle is going to be like a zigzaggy, what do you call it? River. There's a river in there. If you look at the picture, you'll see there's a river. All right. Now, I want everyone with the same paintbrush. You don't have to change your paintbrush. You don't have to wash it. just add a little bit of yellow to it. See that yellow? Just going to add a little bit of yellow to it because I want that dabby. Remember we said we have dabs? I'm just going to put some dabs, just some foliage on there. Just a little bit of, what do you call it? Texture. So just dabbing it with a little bit of extra yellow. Okay. Looks like it's full of little bushes or something. Now here down the bottom, I have to add a little bit of dark green. Okay. So there's my dark green. A little bit of that color because I need the gray in there as well. And down the bottom here is just going to be a little bit darker, right? Because I like the contrast of the yellow against the green, right? Just a little bit darker. Down here as well. Just dabbing. We are not painting. You're just dabbing, 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 guys. Okay. There you go. All right. So we have this one and then that one that they're going to be green. Right, these are green because you can still see the greenery on these mountains because they're not that far away, right? They're not that far away. Candy, you okay? Are you doing this activity too? All right. So has everybody done these two? I'll just hold it up like that. Has everybody done these two little mountains, little green mountains? Now we're going to go to our even darker green mountains. Have a look at the picture in chat so you can see what I mean. I'm going to go darker. Yeah. So in this space here, I'm going to add a little bit of white, a little bit of black, right? Because we want that to be a dull green. Now I might need to add a little bit more green. Everybody see how I'm mixing up a dull, darker green, right? And I might even put a little bit of blue in there because blue makes it even darker. All right, that's a nice dull. It's darker, right? Darker green, that's for sure. But I just want it to be a little bit bluer, blue. It's receding. A little bit of white in there. And remember, things that are really far away from us, they're much duller in color. They don't have such a bright color. Why do you think we started with these beautiful bright colors here in the foreground? Okay, this is another illusion that we create when we do space. Now, watch my mountains, kids. Everybody, eyes on me, how we do the next row of mountains, okay? Now, this one here, hang on, we'll start on this side, I want you to take the mountain, go in, right? Not too far, in, and then up. See that? And then color it in. It's going to be my second mountain, the one behind this green one. Got to get the color right. The color has to be right. Nice and sharp little edge here. Right. I might get a little bit of dark blue and put it here in the corners. See what I just did there? I've got some dark blue and I'm putting it just behind the first green mountain. Yeah, see that? A little bit of blue just to get that contrast. Yeah, because that's what blue does. It makes it recede. It looks like this one is in front of that one. See, this one looks a little bit further away now than that one. Yeah. Now that's what I'm going to do for this one, right? Watch how I do this, kids. This is the important part, please. Now, this part is going to go zig. Yeah, so it's like zigzag, zigzag. See? See how these mountains are very well placed properly? So this is one, and it's going to go up about there, okay? So they're sort of mirroring each other, aren't they? So whatever I do with one, I do pretty much with the other, right? And now I'm going to put a little bit of blue. Remember where I put that blue? Right in there, just dabbing it right behind the first one. So that just shows that it's going to go a little bit further. It looks like it's receding. There's a nice contrast between this one and the one in the background. Sorry, guys, I always forget that you can't really see. All right. All right, there you go. Nice and blue. Okay, who's finished that? Can you see my little zigzag little lake here? Or not lake, sorry, river. Zigzag, zigzag. All right, who's ready to go to the next mountain now? Anybody? Where did Elsa go? You need to rush, guys. Yeah, that's awesome. Elsa, woohoo. Love it. Elsa, how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 6 years old.
6. That's pretty amazing. 6-year-old. Make sure you put that on Zello because I want to see. I want to show. I want you to show me. All right, kids, let's go to the next one. Now, the next one is going to be a dull blue, right? So we've got blue here. I might need to, I don't mind if there's a little bit of green on my paintbrush, to be honest. So I'm going to get a blue, all right? I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to put a bit of black and white on it, right? Black and white. It doesn't matter if there's a bit of green in there. So mainly it's a dull blue. Might need to put a little bit more blue in there. So we don't want it to be green because this is a fairly far away. It's fairly far away, this mountain, and we want it to be blue because that's what color they look like when they're far away. You can't see a green mountain when it's far away because you don't see all the plants and the trees. All right, so ready? Now watch me as I do this, kids. We're going to make another mountain. It's going to come here and here, right? So this is going to be a blue one. All right, it's going to be completely blue with just a little bit of darker blue just behind this one, right? A little bit of blue, blue, blue. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of green in it either. It really doesn't matter. Okay. Now here, I'm going to make it a little bit darker. I'm going to put a little bit more black in it. So I'm going to make a nice little shade, and I'm going to put some dark dabs just behind, right? Just behind the number 3 mountain, right? Just a few dabs, just to show that this one is indeed behind this one. Yeah, just gives it that extra depth, that space, that sense of space. All right, a little bit of texture on the mountains. That's all we need. A little bit of that. Okay, so there's my blue mountain, my blue one. All right, now this one, this is the big one, and it has to be really light. So we're going to use a fair bit of white because we have to take away the intensity, the intense color. We have to make it dull as possible. And we need a little bit more white doing that. I'm going to make it as dull as possible. Now, ready? I'm going to take that same blue that I made that, but I'm going to make it much duller. And we make a dull color, we add white and black. Right, here's a nice dull. Okay, there's a really, really dull. If you ever notice mountains in the background, you will notice that they are indeed quite dull. All right, so this is going to be my big mountain. I'm going to do one across there like that, like this. It's going to be a straight line. And then I've got a mountain going up, down, not too high. Okay, this is really far away. This is not going to be too high. It's going to be very flat. You see that? It's going to be very thin because it's very much in the background. You've got to get the colors right so that they have that sense of space and depth, that it's really, really far away. That's why I can't see the color properly. See that? And there you go. And I'm going to just put a little bit of, you know what I do, the dabbing? I'm just going to do a little bit of the dabbing with a little bit of dark, like just a bit of black, just a little bit of black, very, very little. And there you go. All the way across there. And that's it. Now, ready? Are you ready for the next part? Right, that's really quite a dull color. A little bit more light in there. There we go. Not dull enough. All right. Let's go to the sky now. I need a very clean paintbrush. In fact, I'm not even going to wash my paintbrush. I'm just going to change my paintbrush. I'm going to get another clean paintbrush. Now, kids, I want you to make a very, very light blue. So I need blue without any green in it, just blue. Make sure there's no other color in this blue like that. And I want you to add a lot of white to it. Right? Blue and white, a very, very, the lightest blue you have ever seen, right? The lightest blue you have ever seen. That's the color I want you to make. I feel as though I need a little bit more white in there. Okay. Lightest blue you have ever seen. This is what we call a tint. Remember what we said about tints? Now this is going to be your sky. Very, very, very light blue. Don't forget, this blue sky is the lightest blue you have ever seen. Very, very little blue and a lot of white. All right, now, what we want to do at this stage is we want to get some white along this river. We're going to make it, this light blue sky, even lighter. We're going to make it white. Okay, so we need a fair bit of white. And you can probably use the same paintbrush, the blue one, but just put a lot of white in there. In fact, I'm just going to put white onto my canvas. Right. I don't want to dirty it though. There you go. There you go. There. painted my phone. All right. So I'm going to take my white, and it doesn't matter if there's a lot of paint on there because that just gives it texture. Just make sure that you don't go over the mountains that you've already done. Just put lots and lots of white everywhere where it's the river that's flowing back and forth, back and forth. Ooh, that's just going to give it the really nice texture. Going to give it a really nice texture. And it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of blue going in there because sometimes the river does reflect the sky, doesn't it? So if the sky's blue, then the river is going to be a little bit blue. And it looks like the sun's shining on it, like a bit of a glare to it. I think I put way too much white, by the way. All right, kids, we have to stop doing this because we need to go to our other activity now. Our negative and positive space. Now, how's everybody's artwork going? Is everything good? Enjoying this activity? Can everybody hold up their artwork so I can have a good look? Whoa, what do you think, kids? I finished my painting. Have you guys finished yours? It's all over my fingers. Can I have a look at your works, guys? Laurie, can you show? Kitty, that's amazing. Wow. Misso, cool. Wow. Absolutely fantastic. Good. Now, there are some trees here in the side that I put in my other one, but I don't need to do that with you. It's not necessary. All right, guys, I want you to put your painting aside, and I want everyone to get their black piece of paper because we're going to do something with this now. It's not going to be too long. We're not going to take too long because we only really have, about 10 minutes left. So I want everybody to grab their black piece of paper, right? Now, Tina, I noticed that you didn't do the whole piece of paper. I noticed, hold up your black piece of paper. Let me see, Laurie. Let me see your work. Wow, awesome. Good, are you happy with that? Are you happy with that, darling? Good girl. Beautiful. Well done, guys. Well done to everyone. Let me see, Apple. Whoa, Apple's got a canvas. Have you got a canvas, Apple? That is so good. That looks absolutely professional. Let me see, Tina. Good girl. Are you using watercolors, darling? Yeah. Tina, are you using watercolors and not paints? Good girl, Apple. All right, kids, let's go. Put your paintings aside. I want to see these in Zello, please. I'll put your paintings aside and we're going to grab this. Now, what are we going to do with this piece of paper? First of all, I want you to fold it in half. I hope it's dry. Is it nice and dry? Fold it in half.
Mine's not really dry.
Ooh, how come mine's dry and not yours isn't? Did you put a lot of paint on it?
No, but there are some like splotchy parts where it's like not that dry.
That's okay. Just fold it the way I'm folding it, like that, inwards, yeah? And it's okay if the black goes on the black. Don't worry about it. And so when we fold it in half, we need to cut it right in the middle, okay? We need to fold it and cut where the crease is right in the middle, just as I'm doing here. All right, so we need to take our piece of paper
Cái này cố nó đi nhá.
in half.
Cái này nhá. Ui.
And now we have 2. Elsa's mum's taking photos of her beautiful work. Did you like Elsa's work, Mama Elsa? Did you enjoy your daughter's artwork? Did your mum enjoy it, Elsa? Did she like your artwork? Yeah, I can tell she's taking photos of you. All right, has everybody got 2 pieces of paper now? 2 pieces of paper? Very good, Misso, very good. Yes. Now, with the first piece of paper, I want you to turn it over and I want you to do an organic shape. I want you to take a pencil. There's my pencil. And I want you to do any organic shape within the lines, okay? So make sure there's a little bit coming off the page. So here I'm going to do, see, I'm starting here and I'm going to go up, around, down, up. See what I'm doing? And then I come down like that. See what I'm doing? That's an organic shape. And then, tell you what, I'm going to go over it with a text, with a marker, just so that you can see what I've done. And this is just any random organic shape. Now, make sure you utilize the whole page, right? One line. Do not cut the line. It has to be a continuous line, one organic shape. All right, so there you have it. That's mine. And now I'm going to take my scissors, which are right in front of me, and then I'm going to cut along this line like this. But make sure that you do not cut into, just follow the line that you made. Follow the line all the way around. Don't cut into this side, right? Make sure that you one clean cut, right? All the way around make sure that you...
Wait, teacher, that is 8-4 or 8-5?
Right. This is the page, darling, that we did the A4 on, the black paper, remember?
Okay.
Yeah, Anna, we did this together, remember? We prepared this for this activity. We prepared the black piece of paper so that we could do this activity now. Now, notice how I'm not going back and forth. It's just one continuous line. All right, it's just one continuous line all the way. I'm doing a very organic, crazy shape. It's not a geometric shape. It's just one organic, one continuous line. It looks like a bit of a blob, actually. All right, so I'm not cutting the page. I'm just making sure that I do not cut the page. You just have to keep going all the way around. No stops and starts, and no cutting extra bits. Just follow that line all the way across. Do not veer off the line. It's okay if you veer off a little bit, but don't cut into it. Don't cut into the outside part. All right, I'm going to go all the way around, being very, very careful.
Do I need to draw like you?
Well, you have to draw a shape, an organic shape. Now, I'll show you what happens when I finish this. Wait a second.
Like a line that's make any shape, yeah?
Any shape. Now, can everybody see? Hang on, let me get some paper. Can everybody see this shape and this shape, right? So this part is going to go on this side, but this is not the opposite of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this part and we're going to trace it on here, right? We're going to trace it this time. Now this is I'm going to line this up at the edge here because I'm not going to cut this part. Now I'm going to take my pencil and very carefully, I'm going to trace all around it very, very carefully. All right, now, when we trace paper, we have to be even extra careful because paper is very thin, isn't it? Paper is extremely thin and it's really hard to trace. Now, we're tracing it on the back of the other one. Remember how we cut our A4 page in half? Remember that black paper that we folded and then we cut in half? This is on the other side of it. All right. All right, we're just tracing around it. Make sure that you're not moving it like I just did. All the way around. All right, so now I have got that imprint on there. Now I have to cut around it. All right, I have to cut around it. Now I have to be very careful. I've got to do it exactly. I've got to do this one exactly. Oh, I can't believe what time it is. It's nearly time to go. We have like a couple of minutes left. Oh, that was cutting it really close, wasn't it? You can use my examples, the ones that I have in the chat. Those are some other examples that I did. And this is a new one that I'm making. Now, be careful to just go one continuous cut, okay? We don't need to, don't stop and start and cut bits off. Make it one continuous cut. Mine was very complicated this time. Okay, now I want everyone to have a look at my picture, right? Now this is the absolute, see this? This is a replica. This is a complete replica of that picture. So I'm going to take my glue. Where's my glue? Where's my glue? Okay, got my glue stick here and I'm going to glue it down onto the white bit of paper. Okay, so I've got my negative space, showing the negative space. So this is how we do a really nice black and white image that has both negative and positive space, right? This is a really cool way to do it. And we use black because black is a very nice contrast to white. All right, now don't forget we need to glue this on our piece of paper precisely. All right, precisely. Right there. Right there. Okay. There's my negative space. And now I'm going to add my positive space. See how it's exactly the same? See, this little blob here is the same as this blob here. This part here is the same as this part here. You see that? Very fun to do something like this. I love doing this. This is what we call positive and negative space, right? It's a really fun activity. You guys can do this with all sorts of different colors. If you guys have colored paper, you don't have to paint it. You can just use the colored paper. The only reason why we painted our black piece of paper, our white piece of paper black, is because I know that a lot of you find it difficult to probably find some colored paper. So this is going to go right here, right there where I cut it off before. I'm just going to glue it down. And there is my activity, which shows you negative and positive space. And these are exact. If I fold this over like this, you'll see they are exactly the same. It's like a mirror, isn't it? Can I see your artworks? Let me see Apple. Where's Apple? She's disappeared. Her mum's taking over. Mary, let me see your work. And the other ones, you can use these on another piece of paper if you wanted to, right? The other two pieces, they're also the opposite of this. I might actually do that one too. Just for fun. Just for fun, I'll do this one as well. So there's that. And there's that, which is exactly the same. See that? Now, what's the difference between that one and this one? Not much difference, is there? Oh, hang on. Wrong one. This one. All right. Just the opposite. There. And that one. And that one. And that one. So let me see your work, guys, before I go. I've got to go. Let me see what you've done. I'm just going to wash out my palettes and paintbrushes, and I'll be right back, kids. I want to see your work before you leave, though.
I finished my picture.
Có thể như làm nhiều con khác nha.
Còn nha đi. Teacher Vicki, I finished my picture. Trời, Teacher Vicki không đi. Teacher Vicki không đi. Ôi, sao em mất hết của chị rồi? Nói quá khăn gì đã.
Okay, kids. How's it going? Let me see your beautiful artworks because I have to go. It's 3:08. We have to go now. Whoa. Okay, you have to put the other side in now, Misso, don't you? Whoa, Rosie. Hold that up. I'm going to, oh, Elsa, that's amazing. Wait, guys, I need to spotlight you. Spotlight. Hang on. Hold it up. Let everybody enjoy your artwork. Let me see, Elsa. Whoa. Gallery. Let me see yours. Apple, hold it up. Whoa, guys, that's awesome. Yay, you guys are so good at this. Okay, this is so much fun. I love doing these space activities. Okay, so, and your artwork. Good girl, Elsa. Check out Elsa. All right, beautiful. Okay, you can hold up. Guys, well done. I have to go. All right. I'll see you next week. Good job,
Goodbye.
everyone. See you later.
Goodbye.
Cái này chơi cả hình con chứ mẹ.
See you later.
Bye, Teacher Vicki.
Bye.
Bôi keo đi.
Teacher Vicki. Goodbye, teacher.
Đi mất nè.
Little artists. Good girl, Apple. That's so beautiful. Well done.
Thấy
Gorgeous.
keo không mất keo sao mà dán.
Bye.
Bye.